Assalamu alaikum guys, welcome to another episode of Unto Ma'an. So inshallah, this episode we will be making flatbread filled with spicy ground beef, herbs and feta cheese. It is so good and so simple to make. So inshallah, let's get started. So for this recipe, these are the ingredients we'll be using. As always, I will post the measurements as well as the ingredients in the description box below, so check it out there. But as you can see here, these are the herbs we're using: our tomatoes, garlic, onion. We have ourselves some green onions. There's our ground beef. That's the spinach, tomato paste. These are our seasonings: paprika, coriander, as well as black pepper. And there's our yogurt, feta cheese. I love feta cheese, MashAllah. And there is our salt. So we will first start by preparing our filling. So turn the stove on to medium high. Pour in about 3 tablespoons of, I'm using here olive oil, but you can of course use vegetable oil as well. Once the oil has heated, we are going to add in our diced onions as well as minced garlic. So we want our onions to be nice and brown. You can definitely smell, the aroma of the garlic and the onions is just amazing, mashallah. So once our onions have softened, we are just going to stir that a little bit so it doesn't stick to the pan, and then we are going to dump in our ground beef here. So with the ground beef, we're just going to stir that and let that cook till it has browned and cooked all the way through. So that shouldn't really take too much time, about maybe 5 to 6 minutes. And once that has happened, we're just going to check on it. Looks like it's perfectly cooked. We are going to add our tomato paste. So here we're adding 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. And then we're going to stir that in well. And then we're going to add our seasonings. So we want the seasonings and the tomato paste. So at this point also, I forgot to mention, before we add the tomato paste, we definitely want to reduce the flame to medium. So we're not adding any water into this because I find water really removes the flavor of the meats. But we're just going to reduce the flame to medium. Add our seasonings. Here we have paprika, coriander, cumin, black pepper, as well as salt. All are, in terms of measurements, it's about 1 tablespoon of each. Salt always according to taste, but because we're adding feta cheese, I would not recommend putting too much salt because the feta is quite salty itself. So we would be cooking that for about 3 to 4 minutes, and then now we are adding our spinach. So here, like I said, I'm using frozen spinach. So with my spinach, I did thaw it out. I did drain out all the liquid from there, and then it definitely needs to be dry. And then we're just going to let it steam and incorporate, all those flavors, the meat, all the seasonings and the spinach. And that shouldn't really take more than 2 to 3 minutes for all of that to cook through. So once that's done, we're just going to spoon it into our bowl, set it aside, and we want it to really cool all the way through. So once that has cooled, in the process, while it's cooling, we are going to prepare our dough for our flatbread, inshallah. So here I am. As you can see, the video is going a little bit faster, and that's because I want to show you guys the process of making the dough and kneading it from beginning to end. So here I have 3 cups of flour, a teaspoon of salt, a cup of yogurt, and then just kind of mixing that in, and then I'm adding my water a little bit at a time. So you definitely don't want to dump the water in all at once, because then you would have to consistently keep adding flour, and that's not something you want to do. So just knead it about a teaspoon at a time. Keep adding the water, but basically continue kneading it, and then your dough definitely will soften. So that's what we're looking for. You definitely have to put your some strength into that. And that's what we were looking for. We want it to be nice and sticky and smooth. So we're just going to apply a little bit of oil onto our bowl, and then just kind of set it aside for about 10 minutes. Well, you know, at that point you could kind of prepare your veggies. So 10 minutes later, as you can see, our dough, we just let it sit. We didn't add any yeast or anything. We don't need it to rise, so we just want it to be just a little soft. And then we're just going to put it divide it into equal parts, make it into a little bit of, into balls there. So basically, once you guys learn how to make dough, inshallah, you basically will know how to make anything, like whatever you want, pizza, bread, all of that. So here we want to roll out our dough. So the shape we're looking for here is a rectangular shape. So our flatbread needs to be, we don't want to have a lumpy, or we don't want to have a thick flatbread. So we want to roll it out as much as possible, try to have it as thin as possible. So once you have it as the consistency you're looking for, we are going to spoon in a little bit of our ground beef and our toppings in the middle that we have diced. So we have our onions, our tomato, our green onions, cilantro, mint. The mint really, you know, enhances the taste, as well as the feta cheese. Flatten everything out, spread it around, and then using your hands, obviously, and then we are going to just kind of fold it from both sides and kind of pinch the edges there, the ends. And try to flatten it out as much as possible. It's definitely a lot easier to do it on the stove top. At this point, do turn your stove on to medium, no higher than medium, because we're not trying to burn it. We're just trying to kind of brown our flatbread, because everything, the filling's already fully cooked in the inside. So we just want the flatbread to kind of to brown. So drop basically have a little bit of oil on the sides and continue flattening it using your hands. So I don't know what the science behind it is, but mashallah, it's just so much more easier, because if you try to press on it while you have it on the surface there, it just kind of like bursts open. But it's definitely a lot easier doing it on the pan. So once one side has a browned, then flip it over to the other side, and then we also want to, inshallah, brown the ends. There you go. So honestly, you guys, mashallah, this is truly for those people who enjoy savory things. I love savory things, so I love, you know, these kind of things, these type of recipes. But I definitely know you guys will enjoy it as well. It's really simple. Continue with this process till you finish everything. And there we have it. And this is our end product, mashallah. It was as simple as that. The way I like to eat it is basically with a little bit of lemon, dip it in some hot sauce. Mashallah, it is so amazing. You guys, if you guys enjoyed this recipe, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. For those people who are not subscribed, of course, do not forget to subscribe. And you can always follow me on my Instagram at Ma'an647. But I really hope you guys enjoy it. It looks so simple. It looks kind of intimidating initially when you're looking at it, but as you can see, it was super simple. All right, till we see each other again. Assalamu alaikum.